The farmer, a modest man named Kofi, lived in a small village surrounded by rolling hills and golden fields. His farm was modest, producing just enough to get by. Every day, Kofi toiled under the hot sun, tending to his plants and animals, but despite his efforts, his yields were meager. One evening, as Kofi was finishing his work, a stranger appeared at his farm. Draped in a dark cloak, the figure seemed almost ethereal. The visitor extended a hand and offered Kofi a small pouch filled with unusual seeds, claiming they held magical properties. Kofi stared at the seeds, unsure if he should plant them. The promise of magic was enticing, yet he was skeptical. Could these seeds truly transform his farm and his fortune, or was it just another tale? After much thought, Kofi decided to take a chance. Under a full moon, he planted the seeds in his most fertile soil, burying each one with care. He whispered a prayer, hoping they would bring a change. Within days, green shoots emerged. Kofi marveled at the speed. They were unlike any plant he had seen. The leaves were vibrant, and the stalks grew taller each day, filling him with hope. As news of Kofi's remarkable plant spread, villagers began visiting his farm, gazing in awe at the rapid growth. They whispered among themselves, wondering if Kofi had been blessed by the gods. In record time, the plants bore fruit, each one more plentiful than the last. Kofi harvested his crops with excitement, realizing that he had enough to feed the village and sell in nearby towns. With the bounty from his magical harvest, Kofi found himself wealthier than he had ever dreamed. He purchased new tools, expanded his land, and even helped his neighbors. Yet, he felt uneasy, knowing the seeds had brought his success. The village elders cautioned Kofi to remember that wealth gained too easily could disappear just as quickly. They advised him to plan wisely, to save, and to diversify his efforts. Kofi listened, but the temptation of ease was strong. A severe drought swept through the region. Many farmers struggled as their crops withered. However, Kofi's magic plants remained resilient, their roots seeming to draw water from deep within the earth. Seeing his neighbors suffering, Kofi shared his surplus with them. Yet his generosity was not without worry. He wondered how long the magic would last. As time passed, Kofi grew accustomed to the ease of his magic seeds. He no longer felt the need to toil as before, leaving much of the farm work to others. This shift worried his wife, Amma, who feared that Kofi was losing his humility. One morning, Kofi noticed that the vibrant green of his plants was fading. The magic seemed to be weakening. He panicked, realizing he had grown too reliant on the seeds and had neglected other areas of his farm. Desperate, Kofi sought out the village herbalist, a wise woman who understood the ways of plants. She told him that magic was fleeting, urging him to reinvest his time and energy into traditional farming. Determined not to lose everything, Kofi began recultivating his other crops, returning to the habits he had abandoned. The work was grueling, but he found a renewed sense of purpose. With the last of his magic crops harvested, Kofi felt a pang of regret. He understood now that luck had gifted him an opportunity, but it was his responsibility to sustain it. Kofi used his earnings to buy new seeds, tools, and livestock. He realized that investing in diverse crops was the only way to secure his farm's future. Kofi began teaching young villagers how to farm sustainably. He shared his story of the magic seeds, emphasizing the importance of diligence over easy gains. Through Kofi's guidance, other farmers improved their methods, resulting in a stronger community that could withstand future hardships together. Amma reminded Kofi of the elders' advice, urging him to save his wealth rather than spending it on luxuries. She managed their finances, helping him understand that true wealth was in stability and resourcefulness. With his newfound perspective, Kofi became a benefactor in the village, helping others in times of need. His fortune was now not only his own, but a shared resource for the community. In moments of solitude, Kofi would sit under the stars, reflecting on the journey. He understood now that magic had given him a chance, but it was his hard work that built his legacy. Each season, Kofi carefully selected seeds to plant, rotating his crops and nurturing the soil. He found joy in the process, knowing he was cultivating for future generations. One day, the mysterious stranger reappeared. He offered more magic seeds, but this time, Kofi declined, thanking the man for the lesson instead. The village celebrated a bountiful harvest, and Kofi was honored as the man who helped transform their farming practices. He had become a symbol of resilience and wisdom. At the festival, Kofi shared his story, reminding the villagers that even the smallest seed, when tended with care, could grow into something remarkable without the aid of magic. A young farmer visited Kofi, asking for advice on succeeding. Kofi shared that while luck can open doors, it's hard work that ensures they stay open. Kofi began practicing patience and mindfulness, finding that the slower pace of traditional farming brought him more peace and satisfaction than he'd ever known. As he grew older, Kofi began to train his children, passing down not only the land, but the lessons he'd learned about stewardship and responsibility. In his final years, Kofi watched his children and their children tend the farm. The land was lush and abundant, a testament to the enduring power of hard work, wisdom, and community. At first, Kofi was captivated by the promise of easy wealth, the magic seeds that seemed to grow almost overnight. Yet he learned that fortune, given freely, without effort, can disappear just as quickly as it arrives. Real wealth is not a stroke of luck, but the result of consistent hard work, and those who rely solely on luck risk losing everything when it fades. Kofi's story teaches us the importance of wisely managing what we have. As the bounty from his harvest grew, he could have easily spent it all on luxuries, but he chose instead to invest in his land and tools, planning for seasons beyond his immediate harvest. This foresight reminds us to save and plan for the future rather than spending impulsively. Wealth that's nurtured and carefully invested grows stronger over time. Kofi also sought advice from the village elders, learning from those who understood the land and its cycles. Their guidance, reminding him to diversify his crops and invest his time across many efforts, was invaluable. By diversifying, Kofi protected himself from relying on a single source of income, ensuring that he could withstand challenges like the drought that came later. In our own lives, wise advice and diversification can safeguard us from risk, helping us weather any storm. Generosity was another lesson Kofi embraced. Though his success was his own, he chose to share his bounty with the community, helping others and strengthening bonds in times of need. This spirit of generosity builds more than goodwill. It creates a strong community that can support us when we face challenges ourselves. True wealth is shared, creating resilience not just for one, but for all. Finally, Kofi understood that real success comes from hard work and patience. The magic seeds offered a glimpse of easy gain, but he discovered that tending his land with diligence and care brought deeper satisfaction and lasting results. As he taught the younger generation, he knew he was passing down more than a farm. He was building a legacy of wisdom and resilience. In the end, Kofi's wealth was not measured in coins or crops alone, but in the enduring prosperity he created for himself and his community. His story reminds us that true success is earned through steady, thoughtful work, a willingness to adapt, and the wisdom to invest in more than just material gains. With patience, generosity, and a focus on long-term growth, we too can build a wealth that endures. Thanks for watching. Kindly share this video and follow us for more videos.